4. Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 234th live stream from the MisfitGamersStudios. I am your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussion, a very special Sunday edition of D&D Discussions because we weren't here on Friday due to... But we are here now, and we are finally, after weeks of trying, going to get to Goku. So, join us as we figure out exactly how it will feel to play Goku and build Goku in D&D. Boom. There. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Why are you out of frame? How dare you?
Disrespectful.
Jesus.
We're playing games.
Being out of frame. This is why we have you remote now, because I can put you in frame. See?
That's right.
You see what I have to deal with here?
Just the craziness.
What's up, everybody? I think it's only Soul, but it doesn't matter. Soul, what's going on? All right. So, wow. It's not going to be a very long stream. We kind of have a game plan, but we are going to talk about how it would be to build Goku. Very similar.
Yes.
We're going to have a roadmap. I think you're going to do, just like we did before, the roadmap character sheet.
Yep.
We'll have those published whenever, but they will be. So, I originally had this idea for a tripod. Really like this idea of doing a barbarian monk sorcerer. In my mind, the barbarian was supposed to be Super Saiyan, the monk, for obvious reasons, sorcerer, because in my mind, my first instinct was firebolt for the representation of However, I've been informed that may not be the most efficient way to do it. So, instead, Kage has brought 2 subclasses instead of 3.
I'm very excited.
That might solve all the problems.
Yes.
Man, I gotta fix my camera while you explain that.
So, yeah. I know that there. Let me actually make sure I'm looking at the right subclass. It is the Way of the Sun Soul. Way of the Sun Soul monk subclass, and they have their own, almost like Kai Blast-esque vibe to them, right? They can use.
I just read the first line. You're 100%. Yeah, no, I'm sold. Sorry.
Yeah,
didn't mean to interrupt
absolutely.
you. I read the very first line and just, yeah, I'm sold. Keep going. Sorry.
But that's exactly what it is. Like, you see in DBZ, like, this is. It's what they do. It's their standard attack. Like, yes, you can punch, obviously, if you're in melee distance, but if you're not, I'm punching you at range. Like, that's what this allows a monk to do.
Yeah.
It's like, if I want to throw any of my unarmed strikes at you, I can now do it at 30 feet by, like, chucking Kai Blasts at you. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. So, yeah. It qualifies as radiant damage, but
no, that's perfect. I mean, again, I just looked at this, like, Way of the Sun Soul, Radiant Sunbolt. Starting when you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you hurl searing bolts of magical radiance. What else is a Kai Blast?
I'm just saying.
Like, that's 100%.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm sold. So, Sorcerer is not needed. I am sold that this solves 2 of the issues. It solves the monk, and it solves the Kai Blast.
Sure.
Do you happen to know, or should we take a look real quick? Is there anything else in here that is a good representation of an ability that Goku specifically has?
At 6th level, it gives you Burning Hands. Burning Hands, you can. The fact that it's a 15-foot cone kind of doesn't really vibe with, unless it's like a really short range blast that Goku would do. Oh, I can't think of anything super specific that falls into that category.
So you remember in the series, there are times, now it usually looks a lot bigger. It's not the Kamehameha, but there's a time where they're fighting and you just have the one to do this, and it's just a giant fucking cone that goes out.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be the Kamehameha where it's shot at a distance.
Okay.
This is the, like, looks just like a giant flamethrower of ki energy that's just in front of.
That's basically what this is.
So okay.
Now,
so I'm down with that.
Let me check. First of all, you can do that as a bonus action, which is cool as fuck, because that's normally an action spell, and so I can be using my main attack and then just bonus action put out this massive blast. Each key point you spend increases the spell's level. Oh my gosh, you can literally upcast it by spending more key points.
And that goes into, and then DBZ lore, there's those episodes where they're doing it, and then all of a sudden it goes, ah!
Okay.
And then it just goes bigger.
I need to see if upcasting actually changes its range at all, because that was the only thing that I was going to say might be valuable to have some sort of magical essence to it, is if like going wizard or going sorcerer or something like that, would be to get something like lightning bolt, because I think lightning bolt is a great representation of something like the Kamehameha blast. But I'm actually curious if upcasting would what is that, burning hands, would actually increase its range. All right, at higher levels damage increases by 1d6. Okay, it doesn't increase its range, but still I'm
trying to find like a specific one. So energy, so they would just be like basically like an energy beam, right? No. So I think it's just the generic, like, because I think of like the Kai Blast one. Right?
yes.
But out of all of the unnamed attacks, the one I'm thinking of is just like kind of like the panic one they do when they just do it, and it's just like the giant, like literally
Yes,
the giant
get anything in front of me and get it away.
And usually it's like against a bigger enemy that it doesn't do anything with, and sometimes they
Sure.
recharge it and it'll just get even bigger.
Yeah.
But then usually the enemy just, but I don't think that has a name. I think that is just a generic energy blast.
Sure.
So okay, so I kind of like that as, so that's the Searing Arc Strike.
Yes.
That's the Burning Hand. So technically there is a value there, because we have been talking about what level it would be. We were kind of going around to level 11, or I mean level 10. So if we did want to settle at level 10, 6 Capit Monk would be juicy if it works for the Barbarian, but we'll get there.
Yes.
But that kind of is juicy so far.
I will say the Sunburst also feels like it fits the vibe. It's going all the way up to level 11.
At 11th level, you gain the ability to create an orb of light that erupts into a devastating explosion. As an action, you magically create an orb and hurl it at it. Bro, that's basically like Frieza's attack, but it's not quite Spirit Bomb, but that is Frieza's attack.
Dude.
And I think Goku's used that, where it just does like a more powered up, and then you just hurl it. This was made for DBZ. Let's face it. This was made to be a Saiyan. And then at 17th level, you become wreathed in luminous magical aura. This is Super Saiyan. You shed bright light in a 30-foot radius, dim light for an additional. If creature hits you with a melee attack while the light shines, you can use your reaction to deal radiant damage to the creature. So that's basically like, your super. Okay. How much of Totem Barbarian?
Three levels is all I think we need, because it's just for the rage and the resistance. Because
I thought this was going to be a lot harder. So that's it. That is quite literally it.
Now, there's a lot of other stuff that you get with Monk, and I do feel like a good amount of it fits into what main class stuff.
Everything with Monk fits, right? Like Barbarian was only the ability to go into that state where you get damaged less. But at this point, if you were to just take this, right? If you were to take this entire subclass, and at any point after level 5, add in Barbarian, you would have to Goku build. Because if you did it anytime sooner than level 5, it doesn't really count for his character. Right? If we're talking about like advancing like Goku did. But right before the Searing Arc Strike, anytime there or after starting the path of Barbarian, which would be his Kaioken state, and then when he's level
I could totally see him taking the first level at level so like you get to level 5 in Monk, and then the next time you get a level, you take 1 level in Barbarian.
Okay.
I can because you get your rage, then you don't necessarily get
that would be like your Kaioken state.
Yes. And then you go back to Monk, you get your Searing Strike, and then you take 1 or 2 more levels in Barbarian, because I could, because it's when you're raging, you still take half to bludgeoning pet.
But the Totem Barbarian is because it does more damage types, right?
Yes, it does every damage type except for Psychic. And I think that fits.
So really what you would do is, you would put, at 5th level, you'd go into Barbarian. Then 6th level, you'd get Searing Strike. And then at 10th level, you'd go 2nd level Barbarian, which I don't know exactly what that is. But then you'd go...
Danger Sense is one of them, which is advantage on dexterity saving throws between things you can see. Which, again, especially if you're in the middle of raging, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so level 5 is the first. Then you get Searing Strike at level 7, at level 6. At level 10, you go into your next Barbarian.
Yep.
And then...
right afterwards.
And then your 11th level, you go into then you would go into Monk for your 11th level. And then that would be your 3.
Oh, you know what's crazy?
And then you finish off until you get to Super Saiyan.
Getting that level 17, that's literally 3. That's literally 3 down to 12 from 20. Yeah.
Well, no, but if you took Barbarian, if you took 1 level in Barbarian at 5th level, and then at 10th level, and then right before, at 10th level, and then you took it at like 15th level, you'd have your 3. So when the time you got your 17th Sun Shield,
you'd be level 20.
Level 20.
Absolutely.
And you'd be Super Saiyan.
Absolutely.
Like that would be the official accumulate.
Absolutely.
This was so much easier. I was expecting this to be like a back and forth, and how do we get it? No. I mean, to be fair, I think this is unfair because it's broken. This literally gave us everything we needed.
It absolutely. I don't know if like I said, I don't think it was meant for it, but it was meant to give an option along those lines. Like it's at the very least heavily inspired by.
I'm not upset. I wanted this to be a very quick stream, but I'm upset that it was only 20 minutes. But that was 10. We spent 10 minutes talking about that. That was it. We built that entire. But to be fair, that's just sometimes how it is, right? This is it though. This is truthfully, if you want to be good. Now, okay. We're not done yet though. We're not done yet. We aren't done yet. Okay, not done yet. So we have the 2 classes. We're solid. This is exactly how it is. Barbarian at 5, 10, and 15. So then you can finish off at level 20 as Super Saiyan.
Okay.
And those just also give you those updates in between.
Okay. Yep. This is true. We have not built a full character yet.
Now.
And stats. Yes. We haven't actually built the stats out yet either.
Yes.
Because we will get like ASIs and stuff like that.
I think that the stats will be easy, but
relatively.
I'm thinking the 2 features that we don't have so far, like the 2 main features that we're missing, are the ability to get stronger with defeat. I don't know if there's a D&D equivalent mechanic that we can work with that, or anything close. The other aspect would be if we want to include. I think those are the only 2 things this doesn't cover.
Yes.
Because realistically, what else do Saiyans get?
You asked about race. Why don't we choose Aasimar? They get an ability, and it makes sense because they're heavenly beings, and Saiyans are not of Earth, right? Almost like Superman coming down from the heavens. But they get an ability to fly for a certain period of time. Granted, it's with a set of spectral wings, but you don't have to say that your Aasimar use wings. Maybe it's a cape. Maybe it's your vest. It can be whatever you want it to be. But that's technically would give you, at the very least, for like when you enter into battle. Because to be honest, when's Goku really just flying around? Yes, he can use it for travel if he wants to get from point A to point B, which the character could do also. But a lot of the times it's just for when I get into it with somebody, right? He walks, he goes from place to place. So it's not like he has to use an ability, use his power in order to get himself flight. So I feel like that would like an Aarakocra, like, yeah, they just have wings and they can fly whenever they want to. But again, I think that Aasimar makes a lot more sense in this particular. And I know there's 3 different sub races of Aasimar, and I'm trying to think of which one would make the most sense. Let me see if I can find
one of the Aasimar sub races gets to fly for 1 minute. That's like an ability that they have.
Yes. Does it say what its flight speed is?
300 feet per minute. And unleash radiant energy when they attack.
Yeah.
So that's called the Protector Aasimar. So here's one thing that I would... Okay, so here's actually... Oh my god, I didn't realize that this was so far away the whole time. I was terrible. So here's one thing that I would think of too. So hear me out on the sub-races of Aasimar, right?
Okay.
So you have the Fallen Aasimar. Typically possesses greater strength, possessed greater strength than their other celestial blooded kin.
Okay.
Once per day, they could release the divine energy stored deep within them to form an aura of necrosis around them for a single minute. This effect was so horrific that often caused others to run away in terror. So that's just the Fallen one. I'm not suggesting that.
Okay.
But think about that. A necrosis aura.
Okay.
Protector Aasimar were often more learned and studious than others. Once per day, they could channel their inner light to conjure an angelic incorporeal wings from their back for 1 minute. They could fly at the speed of 300 per minute and unleash radiant energy when they attack. So that is not tied to that. They can just do all three of those things.
Sure.
They can always fly. They could always do radiant when they attack, and they have incorporeal wings. They could produce incorporeal wings for 1 minute.
Sure.
So what if you change it slightly because it's well within the lore? Then instead of wings for your Goku, you are a Protector Aasimar that instead of incorporeal wings, you get the aura instead of a necrosis. But But you get like the aura of radiance instead of necrosis. And instead of people fearing you, like you actually like rally morale.
Interesting.
So you are Goku whenever you, and so once per day you can do this for a minute, and then on top of that, imagine the monk thing. So you could stack those. You could go Super Saiyan fully. You could go Rage and do the Sun. What was it? So you could Rage and do Sun Shield, and you could do your Aasimar ability all at the same time. Tell me for 1 minute that doesn't make you a perfect Super Saiyan.
30 feet. Uses trade. Finish a long rest.
If all three of those were active, I'm telling you, if you were level 20 and all three of those triggered, your Rage, your Sun Soul, and your Aasimar ability, just like you.
I literally look at it like we think about in the show how often like he goes all out. Yeah. Each stage you see it increase and increase and increase. And it's like, all right, let me see if I can beat you with just this. All right, I need a little bit more. All right, let's go. Oh, I need a little bit more.
Because you could start with your Aasimar ability at the beginning, right? So all of a sudden you have this radiant aura, and you could fly already, but you're just like, fine. That's where he normally just like, okay, let's go, Super Saiyan. And then you're like, later in the round, you're like, no, I got to get more power. Rage, Super Saiyan 2. And then because you're level 20, you could just be like, nope, I need even more. Sun Shield, level 3. And then you could, we've done it. Okay, bro. Okay, so we have so it's Aasimar, it's Protector Aasimar.
Sure.
As long as you are okay calling the wings a Radiant Aura, just like the other one has a Necrotic Aura. If you do that, because neither of them do damage, it's just an aura. So there's nothing wrong.
Sure.
And you don't need the wings to fly. The flight is already built in. The wings are just a visual.
I will say, I think it is just because of that ability, Radiant Soul, that gives you the ability to fly.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
I'm looking, it says there's Light Bearer, which gives you just the light cantrip. You have Healing Hands, which is kind of interesting. Maybe he just got sensu beans in his pocket. You got resistance to necrotic damage and radiant damage. But yeah, I don't see, and its speed just says you have a walking speed of 30 feet. So let me look at Scourge real quick. Transformers.
Yeah, it's weird that it like, because it's a period and then it just says they can fly at the speed of 300 feet per minute and unleash radiant damage when they attack, but it's not exactly saying it's like, you know.
I'm curious what they mean when they say unleash radiant damage when they attack. Oh, it says the extra. Okay, it says you deal extra radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or a spell. The extra radiant damage is equal to your level. Okay. Oh, it's on once of each of your turns. So it's almost like a sneak attack type deal, but it's radiant damage. I think that fits. I do like the aura. Do extra necrotic damage.
You know the light cantrip? I mean,
right?
That's totally like them. Healing Hands is an action you can touch or create Bro, we've seen them do that. In the early episodes, there was like minor healing. Dark vision makes perfect sense. You have resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. That makes sense. Your transformation lasts for 1 minute until you end it as a during it, you can fly. Speed of okay, that's what. Okay, yes, and once. Okay, yeah, reading it from this source.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
But that's still fine. For 1 minute, you can do all that. Now, granted, normally Goku can do that whenever he wants.
And that's what I was saying.
But,
it's like,
but with the monk, he can. So he still gets his regular Kai blasts.
yeah.
So the only thing is that we won't get him to be able to fly at all times.
Yes. But that's what I was saying. Like, when you think about it, when is he actually flying? The majority of the time, it's when he's fighting. So turning it on during a fight, that's unlikely to last longer than a minute. And in the
early episodes, in the early episodes, it was only long travel. But other than that, they were just walking around most of the time.
In D&D, like...
It's looked over anyway.
No, what I mean is, like, in D&D, not necessarily everyone you're fighting is gonna be flying. So if you're really trying to build Goku, unless you're fighting another opponent that's also flying, you're probably gonna be on the ground with them. Anyways,
and
like
for a minute, it's long enough anyway. In most,
exactly. So
I'm
like,
totally cool
you can just throw hands with somebody on the ground, and if you really need to, I can pop out my aura and I can fly and I can take off.
Can you imagine grappling someone and then activating that ability? Like, come here, let's go.
For a minute, you just fly straight up.
But no, 30 seconds because you want to be able to get back down yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But still.
Or, I mean, if you don't care, just let yourself fall and you rage at the end and take half damage anyways. And you just like do one of those superhero landings when you go down.
The ultimate pile driver. We're going down together.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the race. Protector Asmar. Sold. We have the two classes. Background.
Let me actually look at those. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Let me step away real quick. Yeah, I don't even know what we can do for background. Because backgrounds don't have that much.
They don't, but hold on. Let me, because I definitely feel like I was inspired.
The background could either include like, I don't know how it would include like he has a magical weapon like the staff, because he did have that.
Oh yeah, his pole.
Or like Nimbus, if there's another one that could be that like he has like there's any thing that gives it like I don't, you know what I'm saying, like I'm trying to think of
interesting.
What in like if you think back at like actual Dragon Ball, not DBZ but Dragon Ball, what kind of background would make sense to pull into that?
All right, it's been a while since I've actually seen Dragon Ball. No, there was something when I was looking through here a while ago. I mean, I kind of always liked Far Traveler. Where are you at? That's
is there like a like not like bar brawler, but is there like an arena fighter background? Because technically Goku is always about fighting people, right?
Yeah.
So what if we made his background like the ability to like spar with people? You know what I mean? Like what kind of background?
There is like a gladiator. Field artisan.
Let's see. Because that would be the big thing, right? It's like, what exactly has he gone through?
So I would say the biggest ones that caught my eye name-wise was the Far Traveler and the Gladiator, right? Because like you said, he's definitely a brawler. He's definitely always fighting people and doing different things. But I think he's also been a lot of places. Like, he's been from planet to planet before, you know, he's traveled up to the heavens with the gods. And so like, there's all different kinds of trying to think if I could find something. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that really catches my eye.
I gotta find a list that I can actually look through. All right, here we go. Jesus, I can't read any of this shit. Fucking hate this video. So bad now.
The one I was looking at was from the D&D wiki.
Again. Ugh. Okay. Let's see. Go to the exotic real quick. Exotic. No. Let's see. Purpose in mind. Perhaps you were. Ooh, wait a second. Fact seeker. You have a purpose in mind. Perhaps you're seeking knowledge or power, or maybe you were searching in secrets. One way or another, your journey led you to seek out an explanatory entity. Once you made contact, a deal was struck, your life changed. That's basically like
The dragon.
I was thinking more like how he like goes and like eventually fights Beerus. Like he just always, but that's more like a warlocky, like not being a warlock option.
Yeah.
That's not really what we're looking at. You hail from some place. You have studied a place with great intensity. You consider a majestic creature. You hold bones close. No, that doesn't do shit. No. Okay, so exotic doesn't work. Let's see. Any of these look good by name? There's a wanderer of some sort. Knight of the Gauntlet. Not really seeing anything fun here. You said I don't see.
There was a far traveler, and for whatever reason, when I clicked on gladiator, at least in the wikidot that I was looking at, it took me to the entertainer background. Oh, because it's a variant of the entertainer background.
Okay, and what's the okay? So that must be that the other one, the gladiator. What's
Gladiator? The gladiator is a variant of the entertainer background.
Okay, what's the other one then? What was the far
traveler?
Is that just by itself, or is that also a variant?
No,
I don't see that one.
You don't see that one?
I don't see far traveler.
What source does it say this came from?
Uh,
This came from Sword Coast Adventures.
Okay, well, since you have that, I'll let you. You can read that one off. I'm looking at a few others here. No. Nope.
See, I feel like this kind of vibes. You know, just dealing with the primary stats here. You get insight and perception.
Is the far traveler?
This is the far traveler.
I think I finally found it.
Goku specifically, I don't think he's very insightful. In fact, I think he's kind of thick. So maybe I'd switch, but he's definitely very perceptive. Usually notices things before most other people do. I'm trying to think. Did he ever play a musical instrument?
No, not really.
Did he have a drum? Why do I feel like he had a drum? I don't know. But you get tool proficiencies in a musical instrument or a gaming set of your choice. Something likely native to your homeland. So maybe he knows how to play some Namekian games. Language of your choice makes sense. Set of traveler's clothes because he's a barbarian / monk. He doesn't really wear armor or anything. Really, all he has is his gi, basically. So yeah. that fits to me. I would imagine you get a musical instrument or a gaming set that you are proficient in, like whichever one you ended up choosing. Maps of your homeland, you know. What was that? No, that was those little headsets that what's his name used to wear. Your features are: why are you here? As a far traveler, you might have been sent out on a journey. I mean, he's been out on a journey for a while, for a number of reasons. Their departure, you've been voluntary. Determine why you are so far from home. You know, I feel like most of this is just built in with Goku. Like, you know why you are what you are. Important decisions to creating. This one's interesting because it doesn't really have a feature. You know, it's got the stuff for personal traits. It's got the stuff for ideals. You're open. I have too much to learn from kindly folk I meet. You know, reserved. As someone new to these lands, to these strange lands, I am cautious and respectful of my dealings. That's definitely not Goku. I'd say open kind of fits the bill the most for that.
Yeah. So I mean, you could also do either athlete or folk hero. I think both of those also fit too.
Okay.
Folk hero, I think, is a little bit more. I mean, if you want to take into account Dragon Ball, folk hero would be a very good one to have because he's already had kind of an established childhood. So people know him as like protector. They already know him as someone from a distant land who is, you know, here to help. What's up, Hoyle?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So I say folk hero. I think folk hero would do it.
What does it say here?
What else do we need? Is that it? Oh, and then stats.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly,
and any feats you think he might end up getting as he levels up?
We'll have to think about that for a second. So I would say that like 18 strength with the chance with ASIs to go up, but baseline you would want like 18 strength, maybe like a 16 dexterity, or maybe both of them, like, yeah, but either strength dexterity, both in the 16 to 18 range. I think wisdom intelligence can be between the 12 and 15. I think, actually no, I'd put wisdom and intelligence between the 10 and 13. Those are your dunk stats. Because he has a great amount of constitution and he has a higher than average charisma. So I would say like charisma is probably going to be your like 13 to 15, maybe a 16 constitution.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have like 2 18s in your strength and dexterity.
Yeah.
Let your wisdom and intelligence be 12s. And use your ASIs.
What are we saying dexterity is?
Dexterity and strength will be in like 18. If you could, like, again, if we're gonna use all your ASIs, like, unless you can think of any specific feats that he has specifically, other than like, you know, I mean, he's a great martial artist, but other than his powers, I don't know what feats specifically work for him.
I mean, there'd be plenty that could work, but the question is, how much do we really need them?
Yeah, so
compared to the actual stats.
If we're talking about by level 20, he should have 20 strength, 18 dex, 12 for wisdom intelligence, and then 16 constitution and like 14 charisma. I think that's a good spread.
I can see that.
Because he's more he's more charismatic than most, but he's not like the most charismatic.
And I'll say
but his constitution's got to be out.
His constitution's got to be good. His dexterity's got to be good, but his strength, specifically because we're making him a barbarian and it's only strength-based attacks that do you any good while you're raging.
Yeah.
So you gotta be and attacking with your dexterity is optional.
Yeah.
Right. So
having that, I think, would be great. Hoylepa has a great question that we can recap real quick. Hoylepa asked, "How are we going to go Super Saiyan?" Well, at level 20, you were going to be a monk, Way of the Soul, and you're going to have 3 levels in Barbarian. So what's going to actually happen is you're going to have a 3-tier Super Saiyan mode, which is fucking awesome. You're actually going to be able to do the whole in game. You're actually going to be able to like go Super Saiyan at the start of the fight, go Super Saiyan 2, and then even go more Super Saiyan at the end. So here's how it works. When the fight begins, because of your race, we have chosen that you will be a protector Asimov. Now, because of that, you get an ability, once per day, where you have a radiant soul. So starting at 3rd level, you can use an action to unleash a divine energy within yourself, causing your eyes to glimmer and 2 luminous and corporeal wings come out your back. Now, there's a different Aasimar subrace that basically does like a necrotic aura, so you can easily say that instead of wings, you get a radiant aura.
Get an aura.
Which is, bam, there's your Super Saiyan gold aura, right?
Sure.
During this transformation, for 1 minute, you can fly 30 feet at a speed of 30 feet. And in each of your turns, you can deal extra radiant damage with your attack. So right now, start of the match for 1 minute, boom, I am now bathed in golden aura. My attacks do radiant damage and I can fly. There's level 1 Super Saiyan. Then, as the fight progresses, you rage because you're 3 levels in Barbarian. So you're fighting and you're like, no, it's Super Saiyan 2 time. You rage. Now you're resistant to multiple types of attacking because we went to Path of the
Totem Barbarian.
Totem Barbarian. We're not just resistant to the normal physical melee damage, but we're resistant to more damage types.
All damage types with the exception of Sidekick.
So you were just, and we've seen that he's actually, like, Goku is susceptible to psychic damage in some instances. So you are now Super Saiyan 2 and you are resistant to all damage types. You are bathed in this golden flame and you're doing radiant damage and you're flying around and you have all this resistance. And then on top of that, at level 17 with the monk, at level 17, you become wreathed in a luminous magical aura. You shed bright light for a bunch of feet. You can extinguish or restore light as a bonus action. And if a creature hits you with a melee attack while this light shines, you can use your reaction to deal radiant damage back to the creature. The radiant damage equals 5 plus your wisdom modifier, which is basically Goku bitch slapping you for even trying to touch him. Because we know how fast he is. So when you reach level 20 and you activate your once a day ability, activate your rage, and you have Sun Shield, you are basically a walking embodiment of Super Saiyan.
I freaking love it.
It's so fucking cool.
You can't touch me without getting hurt. You can't hurt me in any significant really way.
What's funny is Sun Shield is always on. At 17th level, you become wreathed in luminous magical aura. You were always like that. So do you remember?
That's not a activated ability?
No. The other part is, or no, if a creature hits you, yes. So this is just always. You can extinguish or restore the light as a bonus action. So you can turn it on and off. So technically that is your first level of Super Saiyan, is as a bonus action, you just go, it's always on unless you want to turn it off as a bonus action. So technically, your first step is activate luminous aura.
On?
But it doesn't have to be. You can turn it off.
That's so crazy.
So technically, at 17th level, you can just be like, so you could do Sun Shield, which is Super Saiyan, because now you're.
Oh, that's what it says. It says if a creature hits you with a melee attack while this light shines. So you have to have it on. So it's like, okay, it isn't all the time thing. That's so crazy.
So imagine you can do the first ability as the Aasimar, and this on the same turn, because the one takes an action, the takes a bonus action. So you going Super Saiyan could just be boom, boom. Now you're not only bathing radiance, but then you shed light.
You're sitting there for 6 seconds just yelling.
And then, of course, the rage later. True. We basically have Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 locked in. And with those, crazy. That's it. I think that's it. This doesn't need anything crazy or complicated. This actually fucking works just like that. I kind of like, usually it's a lot more back and forth, a lot more searching. But unless we specifically wanted to give him a Kamehameha, that would be the only thing we're missing ability wise. But outside of that, I don't think it's necessary. I really don't think that
and Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, but I don't think those two specifically are that necessary to complete the build, because every other way this is Goku minus his powers. And those just really aren't ways to easily bring in D&D.
You know what I think would be interesting? So he's got, whenever he does a Kamehameha blast, he always says what it is, right? When you're doing like regular Kai blast, you don't do that. Okay? So it does kind of make sense to me that when he does that, he's like casting a spell, right? Spell with a verbal component or whatever the case may be. I would love it if we could give him like an item, right? Or maybe he's just doing a little ritual. Like you could take a feat to learn ritual casting, right? It would have to be like a custom.
Is there a feat that lets you cast spells? Is there any kind of feat that he could have taken?
Yes, but it's usually only a certain level of spell, which I don't think gets up to third level.
So I think the closest thing that he could have for the Kamehameha is Sun.
I think even though it's not what type of damage is that? Is it radiant? Or is it fire?
Radiant damage.
Okay. So I was thinking, because that's 6th level, I was thinking lightning bolt. Lightning bolt is a beam, right? That goes for I think 60 feet.
This one is this. This is 60 feet, 5 foot wide.
Same.
So brilliant light flashes out from your hands. Each creature in a line.
Yes.
Let's make a Constitution saving throw. Failed save.
Yes.
The creature takes
It's dex
68
save for
and is
lightning.
blinded until your next turn. On a save, it takes half as much. Undead and ooze have disadvantage, which that makes more sense for the Kamehameha because it would just like, like
Sure.
leave like a thing. You can create new lines of radiance as your action on a turn. So that's like being able to do multiple
this
beams.
is concentration up to a minute. That's crazy.
Yeah,
See,
for the duration. And that's kind of makes sense too, because when you're going fucking crazy, I mean, he's able to.
but I've
bust
never
them
seen
out.
him. I've never seen him rock multiple Kamehamehas back to back like that.
I mean, you haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean he's.
I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm
But you're
just
right.
saying-
But this would be the closest thing we could give him. But you're right. It's like you could easily get this in game though. Like you could just find something that lets you cast this in.
That's
game.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there's likely like you can find scrolls, you can find all kinds of stuff. Like I think that would be a better way to represent this.
And then for Spirit Bomb, Delayed Blast Fireball might be the closest.
Sure.
Because this one, let's see,
Sure.
for Delayed Blast Fireball.
You can kind of see that. So
That's a 7th level, so that's even more. So yeah,
Yeah.
you could find those things. You could find ways around it. But again, I'm not so worried about his abilities
agreed.
because if we're gonna talk about abilities, I would be more concerned with using if you can't get to the stats that we considered, or if you can easily without ASIs, anything that would increase his speed, because like Flash Step, actually, Step of the Wind.
No.
Or Misty Step.
Misty Step.
That's the one.
Yes. There
Misty
is a
Step.
feat. There is a feat that can give you Misty Step.
So add that. He should add the feat to do Misty Step. Because that makes perfect sense. And that could be the ASI. That could be the ASI that puts strength ahead of dexterity. Like you can get dexterity up to 18 and strength up to 20, or even dexterity up to 17 at the sacrifice of that. But Misty Step would be good.
I think it gives you, because a lot of feats actually give you a singular point buff to one stat.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you just take the ASI as it is, you get 2 points to split wherever you want.
Yeah. So it'd be easier to get your strength up. So yeah, I like Misty Step because like instant transmission is also up there with like Spirit Bomb, right? Like those things are a little bit
Sure.
heavy for him. But his ability to fly, fight, and crow, his ability to go Super Saiyan, if you cut the reference, right? And yeah, I just don't care about the Kamehameha as much. The Misty Step, like the Flash Step,
Yeah.
makes the most sense that we would want to see that from him.
Yeah. So you learn Misty Step. You learn the Misty Step spell. Theoretically, with this, you can only cast it once per long rest, but still, I think it fits. Like I said, he really only uses it when he has to, and he's all about taking them blows, man.
So we solved its flying Hoilepa because the ability that he can do once per day that he can activate for a minute allows him to fly.
Yeah.
So since Goku, yes, can fly whenever he wants, but realistically, like from a D&D concept, unless the whole party can fly, you're not going to be flying all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of really suits that he just flies for the minute.
And with the
while
way
he's
he
in combat.
fights, he's probably not going to be flying in battle unless his opponent can fly too.
I kind of like that, having making sure that you could flavor the bag of holding as a capsule corp device.
Oh, That's fair.
I like that.
That's fair.
So yeah, so we've covered the Super Saiyan, and we've covered all of the necessary abilities, and his background. Personality type is just however you want to, like, you know, play it.
Sure.
And we've covered his stats. Because anything else, like, again, anything else you'd want, you can get in game, right? Like any of those other abilities or spells, and you could find a way to cast those spells. If you want any of his equipment, like specifically his garb, I'm sure you could find like a device to mimic the flying Nimbus or his staff. There's all these other things that you could find in game to represent things that he had, but who he is and his capabilities and what he represents, I think this is a solid choice. Hell, even if you wanted to go one step further, you could even give him something like the Sky Self, so when he transforms, you could even say that he turns hair force.
I think because there's plenty of feats you can take that give you access to a cantrip. Minor illusion's all you need for that.
Done.
Like,
minor illusion. Just anytime you use this spell, you actually like turn Super Saiyan. I like it. Wow, that was easier than I thought. And it only took us an hour, which is exactly how long I wanted to.
Beautiful.
I just mentioned him, Hoilepa. Like, as I said, the items that he can have in the lore is something that you would be able to pick up like in game from your DM, right? That's
not like really... the Nimbus. That's basically a broom of flying.
Yeah, there you go.
Except you know
it looks like a cloud.
Yeah.
His staff is probably just another magical weapon, but we can't dictate that they have that, right? This is only the roadmap to like how you, if you wanted to create a character, we can only create the roadmap. We can't tell you like what you would find in
and like we can give suggestions, and I'll probably put stuff like the broom of flying, you know, or I swear there's literally a magic carpet in regular 5th edition lore.
Magic carpet. I would be curious to know if there's an extendable staff. Like there's got to be an extendable 10-foot pole.
I think so. I know there's a
pole of collapsing.
Yes.
There you go. It's you know, while holding this 10-foot pole, you can use it as an action to speak a command. Collapse it to 1 foot long for ease of storage. The pole doesn't weigh. It doesn't change. So again, that's exactly what his thing is. Now his was, you know, monstrously long, but this would be what you're looking for. This is more like Gambit staff, I would say.
But I mean, 10 feet. 10 feet's pretty freaking tall, man. Like any regular person holding a 10-foot pole, it's towering at least 4 feet over your head.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, I think that's really good though. I think
what background did we end up going with? You said it was folk hero?
Yeah. Folk hero, I think, covers the right background. It's someone who is from somewhere else, you know, does some good deeds, especially if you want to consider in like the Dragon Ball heritage. I mean, even Hoilepa mentioned the Red Ribbon Army.
The what?
Red Ribbon Army from Dragon Ball, like, you know, where Dr. Gero came from and the androids came from, like the actual original enemy.
Yeah.
So that right there also establishes Goku as a folk hero because he destroyed the Red Ribbon Army. So that right there ties why that background makes the most sense. Is by the time you're going to be playing this character, you're not playing Goku the child, you're playing Goku like the adult in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So that ties in your ability to say, like, you know, I'm a veteran where as a kid I toppled an army. Not that I'm a great person, I just happen to be at the right place, right time. And now I'm the adult that came from that. So you could easily tie all of that in, right? And a good DM should let you have all of his accessories, right?
Sure.
I mean, you couldn't, like, you know, like the sensu bean doesn't really make sense.
It honestly, again, we're building this character out, right? But like at the same time, if you're gaming this character out, if you're starting this character here and going here, it's up to you and your table to like decide what that journey looks like and like how you're gonna get from point A to point B. So
also imagine this too. The game already builds in the Super Saiyan feature of like nearly dying. Because more often than not, if you're in a fight that costs you to nearly die, you probably made enough XP to level up. So as long as you survived, if you survived a battle that was able to bring you down, it was probably gonna bring you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of fair.
So technically, you could build it out to where the most difficult fights that bring you to near death, that's when you get to level up.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I like that. Wow. Okay. Wow. That was easier than I expected, which I'm happy for. I didn't want to have this be like a 5-hour long stream today.
Sure.
I just kind of wanted to pop on, give you guys an extra stream because we did fail to come in on Friday. but I appreciate that everybody stopped by. We will get the roadmap out. Can anyone think of anything else that we've missed though? So we have the background, we have the race, we have the stats, we have 2 classes, we have one ability, and then the rest are ASIs. This Misty Step.
Misty Step. Fate touched.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we need specifically to guarantee that like someone who what they have control over can make this character, right? They can just say they want to have a character based off of Goku that has close to the same features. Is there anything else that we would need to take into account that we haven't, that Goku can either do or that would represent what it means to be a Saiyan? Because they don't have like any extra ability to heal. That's a Sensu beam, but that's not part of being a Saiyan.
Sure.
We joked,
and you already do kind of get that with Asimar anyways, with healing hands.
Oh yeah, they can already heal themselves. We have the Kai Blast, so we have the basic ki energy. We're already a monk, so we have all of his fighting abilities. We've figured out how we can make him fly, how we can make him fight, Crow, go Super Saiyan, Rage, get defense, you know, like be able to resist damage types. Anything else, chat? Episode 1, Dragon Ball Goku lifts a car. I mean, yeah. We are trying to suggest that using the ASIs to get him to strength 20 by level 20 is probably a high priority.
Yeah.
Strength 20, dexterity 17 or 18.
What does Asimar give you for stat increases?
Good.
I forgot to ask about that.
Wisdom and charisma. So you can dump wisdom to 10 and this will still bring it up. And then this is wisdom 1, charisma 2. So those can be way lower and you can sacrifice a lot more to guarantee that strength and dex are your highest. So that's great. That's a good point.
Charisma 2. Okay.
I like this build. I like this.
Get a cantrip too. I mean, I can trade in a first level spell for a cantrip, right?
What's up?
Right?
For what?
Fade Touched. It gives you Misty Step plus another first level spell. But if I switch it for what do we say?
Whoa,
Minor Illusion for your hair.
But it gives you a first level spell?
Yeah, so Fade Touched, you learn the Misty Step spell and 1 first level spell of your choice.
Hang on. Hang on. Let me take a look real quick at first level spells. Is there any spell that, because now I'm wondering too, like specifically to be funny, I was wondering, is there anything similar to Solar Flare? Solar Flare! Just it's a, you know what I mean, like a blinding spell. I'm just curious really quick.
Blindness, deafness? Is that a first level spell? I think it's a 2nd level spell.
There's dancing lights.
Those are cantrips.
Oh
yeah,
first level. I mean, absorb elements is kind of ish.
It basically lets you absorb something, and then in your next attack, you get to do some damage with that element. And I don't know
not
how often.
Quite. Yeah. I mean, any of the armors, Armor Vagathus, not really Hades, but
Armor Vagathus might. I mean, even though it's cold damage, and that's not really fitting with the.
I mean, Burning Hands, getting another option to do, because Burning Hands is already a key thing. But being able to do it like that. Ooh, Catapult. Because we've seen them in the thing, just grab something and just fucking chuck it.
Now, yes, I will say Catapult lets you telekinetically do that. So I can pick up a rock from like.
Yeah, we haven't really seen telekinetic powers.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Chaos Bolt, Charm Person, Compelled Duel. Bruh,
I know he would love that. Now you could even say his charisma allows him to convince people to do that.
No, but this is perfect though, like, because his whole thing is wanting to fight people, right? Like Goku's entire thing is challenging people to a fight that are better than him.
Yeah.
Giving him the ability to compel a duel on the bet.
I mean, it's badass.
I'll keep reading.
It's badass.
If we do Fey Touch, and then Fey Touch would also make sense why he's a Saiyan, right? Because Fey Touch is part of what? Just an ability you can have? Or how do you get Fey Touch?
Fey Touch is a feat.
Okay, yeah. So we give
That's one of the things you get as you're leveling up.
I am
and
really,
you get
really
to increase
interested.
wisdom or charisma by 1.
Bro, then those could. I'm telling you, man. I am hard for this. I think that I think Compel Duel is great. So comprehend language, just water, cure wounds, detect evil, kind of maybe detect magic, detect person, disguise self. I mean, that could be like, but that's a spell on top of everything else. It's
And that's why they
action.
just make it be a cantrip and minor illusion, so I can do it all the
time. Earth tremor, snaring strike, entangle. I mean, expeditious retreat.
Expeditious retreat could be cool. That could actually be really cool
because we see them a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
you know, like
absolutely. Just what is it? Double your speed, or
you could take. Wait, so. As a bonus action on each of your turns, you can take the dash action.
Basically,
so basically for 10 minutes. Yeah. So actually, okay, so those two are good. False Life, Featherfall. Featherfall could be huge.
It would be that thing where if you did take somebody up and you ended up dropping them, you could just.
But that's also the closest thing we can get to permanent flight, like always flight, is just being able to Featherfall and glide. Like,
sure.
So let's see. Good Berry Grease, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Hellish Rebuke, Hero. I don't know what heroism is.
Guiding Bolt might be another just beam radiant damage thing that could be. Although
jump.
Jump.
Maybe for an earlier version of it, but I mean, it is a first level.
Strider would be better, I think. Because that's another one of those what do you call it? Movement ones.
What's silent image? That gives me an idea of like the flash step where they leave an image of themselves behind.
No, it's literally just a visual image, like an illusion.
Oh.
That doesn't make any noise.
Wrathful Smite could be interesting. All right, so let's look through a couple of these. So Compelled Duel, I still think is a high challenge.
I agree.
Specifically for Goku. Featherfall, I mean, and this could also just be a list. Choose any one of these for Fey Touch.
Okay,
as because all of these fit, so this could be your particular flavor of Goku. You do Compelled Duel if you want to actually like play Goku. You do Featherfall if you want his ability, right? So this could just be here's the list of how to fill in Fey Touch, but it has to be one of these in order to be called Goku, right?
Sure.
So because these two I think are great. Heroism, a willing creature you touch is imbued with Brit. No, that's not quite. I mean, kind of, but until the end, the creature is immune to being frightened, gains temporary hit points.
Like you could make an argument for that, sure.
Yeah, I think there's other characters
because
that could fit too instead of.
Imagine like you show up and like you're being attacked by whatever, some big evil bad guy, and then all of a sudden Superman shows up. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh.
But I feel like this is more like him being like this feels more like a bridged Goku where he's like, don't worry, son, you got it. Whereas real Goku, he comes in and goes, don't worry, I got it. So this is more like pushing someone else to be there, whereas I think like the real actual non-abridged Goku is much more of a everyone out of the way, I will sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
So I'm not convinced on heroism.
Fair enough.
You said Guiding Bolt. A flash of light streaks towards a creature of your choice within range. Make a range attack against the target. On hit, they take radiant damage. Next attack made against that before the enemy extra has advantage. Okay, so it's kind of like a one-time fairy fire.
Blast. Yeah, and it gives you advantage.
I wouldn't mind that as an option if you want to be more of an attacking Goku. That works. Long Strider, you touch a creature, the target's speed I don't like the idea that you can give it to somebody else. It's not quite what I was thinking. I get where you're going.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot it was a touch spell. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the other one that gave you multiple dashes. I would prefer.
Wait, what was that one?
Expeditious Retreat. I have that on here.
Okay.
Silent image. You create an image of an object or a creature. Blah blah blah. The image appears to a spot within range. The image is purely visual. Yeah, that's not helpful. Wrathful Smite. The next time you hit with a melee weapon attack during this spell's duration, your attack deals an extra 1d6 psychic damage. No, that ain't him. All right, so I think that's it. 4 options: Compel Duel, Featherfall, Guiding Bolt, and Expeditious Retreat. I think all of those are fine choices depending on how you want to play the character.
Agreed.
But all of those together would make a perfect Goku, or at least just a perfect DBZ character. These aren't specific to Goku. I think these are just specific to the anime, because all of these you've seen in different times, right?
Sure.
So that's where I think Compelled Duel is the guaranteed #1 Goku choice, but the other three are absolutely DBZ accurate.
Yeah.
I really wish we can give him Featherfall all the time, because man, that's perfect.
Just having Featherfall on.
Yeah, just you can't drop at terminal velocity.
Yep.
All right, and then another one from Hoilepa, Fusion. Not again, something that they learned later, so I don't really know how the fusion would be.
Yeah, and
D&D compatible.
that is also reliant on another Saiyan.
That is true.
Right?
Same thing,
so
yeah.
so like you would have to have somebody else you could theoretically fuse with.
Mm-hmm.
And so like in D&D, unless I'm in a party of a bunch of Saiyans, a bunch of people making this exact same build, right? Or maybe not this exact same build, but a similar enough build.
Yeah.
Right? Like at that point it feels like you're getting a little bit more into setting lore.
Heck, asked if we added haste. It depends on how you would add it. It's not, haste is like a spell that you can do, but it's not really, doesn't really fit like the current like structure that we have, because we're trying to, again, everything has to be more natural based.
So I'll say the biggest problem I have with haste is what happens when it wears off. And so because you get this, like, you're fully stunned for a turn, and like I don't see that happening to Goku. Like, yes, there's definitely
when he gets knocked out of Saiyan, but not because he comes out of Saiyan, right? Like, he doesn't just come out of Saiyan and then pass out. It's only when he exerts himself or gets beaten out of Saiyan.
Sure.
So I agree with that. Plus, we already have 3 levels of Super Saiyan. Like, we literally have 3 Super Saiyan options built in. So I don't know if haste really adds anything to what we already have, because we already have.
It's just speed and more attacks, which is all helpful.
That's all within the monk too. The monk already has like the ability to add all that to itself.
It's just what do you call it? Cumulative. Because like we're never going to get to exactly DBZ, because
I would say
throwing
haste could be added from an external factor.
To
add more to it, but kind of like all of the other features like the tools, I don't know if that really like can be built.
There's not really a time where you're watching the anime and you see him activate something like haste. It's like
Kaioken would be the earliest version of haste. If we're including what we built as Super Saiyan, haste would be Kaioken.
Sure.
Because it's all it does is it makes him stronger and faster. Doesn't do anything else. Doesn't make him more resistant. He's just stronger, faster.
Yeah.
So technically, you could do that. So I think that's it. So here is the overall view that we have. Starting with our race, we are going to be a Protector Asimar with a small adjustment to the wings being a radiant aura instead.
Sure.
Similar to the Fallen Asimar, who has a necrotic aura.
Yeah.
This is just going to be a radiant aura. That's going to be our race. Our background is going to be the folk hero. Our classes are going to be 17 levels of monk, and strewn out through there at various levels, most likely at 5, 10, and 15. You take your various 3 levels in barbarian, so this will be a 20th level build altogether. But you start barbarian at level 5, and then at level 10 you take your 2nd level in barbarian. Level 15 you take your 3rd level. You're going to do the totem barbarian for that. You're going to do Way of the Sun Soul for the monk. That's going to give you your Kai blasts. It's going to give you several of your key you're going to get your regular Kai blast, a little energy bolt. You're going to get like the big cone Kai blast out of it, and then you're going to end with Sun Shield, which is a feature that you can turn on and off at will as a bonus action.
So wild, but I love it. You
shed light at 30 foot. You become basically illuminated. So that's exactly what it looks like when you go Super Saiyan. Is you just light up, and then you can basically counterattack when you get attacked this way. So you're just super fast. On top of that, the Asimar also gives you a once a day ability that you can activate. You basically accumulate all your energy and let it go, which gives you that aura for 1 minute. You get to fly for 1 minute, and you do extra radiant damage during that 1 minute. And then, of course, on top of those two things that you can activate, so this is the leveling. Like in the middle of a fight, you can just turn on and you just, now Super Saiyan. Then you can activate this other ability that lasts for a minute. And now you're putting out aura and you're flying and you're doing extra radiant damage. And then on top of all of that, you can activate your Barbarian Rage. And because we went Path of the Totem, you get resistance to all damage types except for Psychic. So you could become the ultimate Super Saiyan by activating all three of these. And if you wanted to, be cinematic about it, you could do just like in the show and do it throughout the fight. Like every couple rounds, activate another level.
Yep.
Or go all out because two things are a bonus action and one's a main action. So you could do both of these back to back in 2 turns.
Yeah, if you need to like pump up, like you absolutely
and actually,
can.
as a monk, can you get an extra? Do you get an extra bonus action as a monk?
Not extra, no. In fact, I don't think any like. I know you get it in like, what do you call it? Baldur's Gate and stuff, but I've never actually.
Something gives you 1 extra bonus action, maybe not.
Unless it's a.
But yeah, so that would be it. That would be.
So I also forgot. Speaking of like, if I fly up too high and like you fall, you as a monk you get slow fall, which means that you can just reduce your fall damage.
Perfect.
As well as getting evasion, which means if you fail a saving throw for taking damage, then you get to have it anyways. And if you succeed it, you get to make it 0.
Nice.
So
that's all like, perfect. That's all great for Goku. I think that's all that's awesome. Oh, and the stats. So the stats are with your ASIs and everything else like that. Oh yeah, so also and feats. So stats, you want to push your by level 20, you should have a 20 in strength with ASIs, a 17 or 18 in dexterity. Your intelligence and wisdom can be 2 of your dump stats. So try to get those around the 10 to 12. Because we saw that with some of the other backgrounds, you're already going to boost your wisdom. So wisdom can be your ultimate dump stat. You can put your 8, your 9, or your 10 in there. Intelligence, throw your 11 or 12 in there. Constitution's also going to get, or no, your charisma's also going to get a bump. So put your other 10 or 11 in there, and then throw probably your 14, 15 in your constitution. So your highest stats are strength and dex for sure. Then it comes constitution, then charisma, then wisdom and intelligence as the final.
Sure.
And that should be it. That should be a full thing. Oh, and then your feats, you want to do your ASIs to get your strength up to 20, but you want to take Fey Touched, so you can get Misty Step and a selection of potentially Compel Duel, Featherfall, Guiding Bolt, or Expeditious Retreat. Any of those as first level spells will be a good for the Goku build. My personal favorite is Compel Duel, and
specifically for Goku.
Yeah, the idea of just I want to punch you in the schnoz.
Like, absolutely.
I don't think we missed anything. I actually think that covers everything. I think we just made Goku.
Yeah.
Successfully.
Yeah.
That's dope. And under an hour.
That was good shit.
Cool.
That was good shit.
All right. Well, that was all we were going to be on for today. I'm glad everyone got to show up. I appreciate everybody for coming in for today. I know it was not our normal stream. Maybe we should reconsider. Maybe, maybe Sunday evening is better than Friday. I don't know. You tell me. You can tell us in Discord. So join our Discord if you haven't. Oh, we got anything else coming up? What's tomorrow's review? We have a review coming up tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Don't worry. I know you all were just typing that question in the chat immediately right now is what's the next review. So we're going to get it for you. We're going to tell you. Don't worry. Relax.
Oh, we're doing, I think you said it was the ranch hand.
Oh, the ranch
hand. And possibly.
Oh, might be doing 2 because they're backgrounds from Dez, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we might be doing. So we'll do at least the ranch
doctor.
hand. And might do a second one from Dez, since we're just trying to pummel through those because we have a whole bunch more that we got to get through now. So yeah, we're now back. Now that everyone's submitted, we're back to being able to do multiples on a Monday as long as they're small. So we have backgrounds from Dez tomorrow. And we finally did Goku. So maybe we'll do a Friday game session. It's been a minute since we've sat down and played games.
Okay.
So maybe we can cycle back to that. Cool. I don't got anything else. I'll use the restroom real quick, let you finish off with anything, and then we'll close out here.
I will say, and I always talk about it because it's always my favorite part of what I get to do here. but I love I finally saw that Pokeniner threw some more stuff in the submissions channel, and we're just straight up blowing up here with stuff from you guys. So I really appreciate it. Boxer, it looks like you gave me a couple more things as well. You had to make a fix on it. Oh, this is your alloy boss. Okay, got you. So yeah, I'm super excited for what's to come in our submissions and all of our homebrew reviews and stuff like that. I'm trying to find ways to make what I do a lot easier and a lot quicker, and remove the possibility for errors, right?
Yeah.
Like make things as ideal as possible, so that I represent you guys as good as we can. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it'll be good.
So expect a lot more. Reviews are coming, and yeah, we'll just keep cycling through Fridays. We have a ton of other stuff that we want to do, a couple of new ideas, but you know, for like creations and stuff. But yeah, we just want to get back into the cycle of, you know, doing like a creation like this, playing some games, doing some separate chat, and I kind of want to bring back some of those game interact or the chat interactive ones, like starting streams.
Yeah.
Like I think I want to do like maybe I'll start Friday streams with marbles. Just to
Yeah,
kinda
that
get
was way
everybody
cool.
in.
That was a lot of fun.
I do also like
I
that
didn't
other
know
one
those
that people
thing.
can join and I'll play.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we'll do that on Friday. Well, we'll start with that.
Okay.
Because even if you're remote, you can join in on those in via
Oh
chat.
yeah.
So everybody
Absolutely.
can play. Cool.
Very cool.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. We will be back tomorrow with reviews from Dez. But otherwise, have a good rest of your night, and thank you for showing up. But that's going to be it for today. So that was Goku, and we'll get the roadmap out in Discord here probably in a couple weeks. All right, man. Yeah, thanks for everybody for showing up, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.
Deuces, my friends.